Hi, welcome to Starting Stand Up. My name is David Walton. I am thrilled, genuinely thrilled that you've given this a chance. And I know you've got a lot of things to do today. I hope you're having a nice walk or a drive or maybe a little elliptical, a recumbent. Maybe you're on the recumbent. Wherever you are listening right now, I wish you tremendous joy, safety, peace, and adventure. In the meantime, I've got an episode that I'm happy about. Honestly, we explored some different areas, and here they are. If you stick around, we're going to go with the 5 best questions to get to know someone, which I discovered and answered, so you can get to know me a little bit better. And I hope one day to get to ask these same questions of you. Second, journal discovery concerns. A little overshare in journals. How are your journals? Are your journals safe? How would you feel if something tragic were to happen to you and your children found them? How does that make you feel? Then we're going to go unusual cocktail party questions. I think we all can sort of feel like cocktail parties are landminey, and we usually have to get drunk to feel comfortable. And these are some questions that will make it even more uncomfortable. And then I learned a CIA information extraction technique that I think you'll be very excited about. It's a way of getting people to talk and tell you things that you want to know, and you never have to ask a question. And then finally, just the epidemic of anus leggings. Please enjoy.
Oh man, that's rubbish! That's rubbish!
So I just asked Perplexity, which is my AI of choice, but basically it's ChatGPT. Or it can use them all. I asked it, what are the 5 best questions to get to know someone quickly? So I thought in this podcast episode, I would answer these questions because it's much more fun to listen to somebody if you know them a little bit. You know what I mean? First question. How do I like to spend my free time? Very simple. Meditation, friends, backgammon, tennis, lovemaking, kids, watching sports, cooking, doing drugs, traveling, meeting new people, lifting, reading. Second question. What's the best moment or memory that shaped who you are? I don't know who I am. No, everything shaped me. I think that's a shit question. Let me take that back. I would say my first laugh, my first crowd laugh. 6 years old, church, kids service in summer here in Maine. They always do this beautiful thing where they do the gospel, but they let the kids come up and act it out. And I was a fisherman pulling in a net of fish. I don't know what gospel it is. I don't know my Bible, but the minister asked, he goes, it was really hard to pull the fish in. And I remember just being like, oh, it was hard? And I just made this face like I was pulling the hardest thing in the world. And the whole place went berserk. And I think I got addicted to that at age 6. I felt like that is the best feeling. I've been chasing it ever since. Third question. When do I feel the most like myself? Honestly, probably on mushrooms. Certain alcohol buzzes, but combined with some mushrooms. Because I'm sharp, I'm still capable of speaking well and having intelligent conversation, but there's a sort of a love and there's an unblocked enjoyment. What is it? I think it's when I'm the most unconcerned with what anyone's thinking of me. And therefore I can be exactly what I want to be. And usually that's some sort of combination of very loving, mischievous, and horny. Fourth question. What am I passionate about right now and why? I am passionate about Zen Buddhism. It's all I think about and want to do, to the point where I'm not responding to friends. I haven't responded to a text in like a week. I meditated for like 3.5 hours today. I'm beginning to think this is an avoidant behavior. Like, there's just shit I don't want to do in life right now because of a mood or whatever. And so, when in doubt, meditate. So the why about why I'm doing it is up in the air. I can't tell you why. Whatever my why is, you should be very skeptical of. But what I am passionate about is meditating through the Way app by Henry Schuckman. The Way is a relatively new meditation app that is a single path. There are no choices. There's no like, today I'm sleepy, I'm going to meditate on that. Or today I'm anxious. You are on the path. There is one meditation, and you only can get to the next meditation by completing that one. I love it. I think it's incredibly powerful. I've got no skin in the game. But if you have ever thought about meditating and want to just finally do it, this is the app for you. Good luck. Final 5th question. What drives me to do what I do? I think ultimately I just want to be extraordinary. I don't know how else to put it. A fear of being ordinary drives me to do what I do. I think. I'm not sure. Put a pin in that one. A little asterisk. I just went through almost 4 years of the Notes app on my phone, which I hadn't done. I'm not a go back in time kind of person. I'm starting to worry a little bit if fate were to intervene and I were to no longer be on this earth, and people were to go through my digital breadcrumbs or my journal, my extensive journals. I haven't been journaling for a number of years now, but I used to, sort of in that early 2010s, kind of my late 20s, 30s. I was doing like 30 minutes of stream of conscious writing, which are all saved. And it's very strange as my father ends or, nears the end of his life, both my parents, if I were to discover a stream of consciousness journal from his 30s and leaf through it and open a page and it's just like some sort of like sexual fantasy. I remember my stream of consciousness. They would always start with some sort of worry. And then I hate to say it, but it would eventually, it's early in the morning, you're tired, you're grumpy, you're hungry. You don't know why you made this commitment to doing 30 minutes of stream of consciousness. The only way to make yourself feel better is to get charged up. So I would end up starting to imagine all the, like my dreams for my wife, as far as sexually, because it was, at the end of the day, I there's things I want to do, there's things I want to do that I still haven't done. And so ultimately the journal became a lot of it is just me fantasizing. And so this is a problem because I honestly, I kind of know where the journal is, but I kind of don't. And if something tragic were to happen to me and my son leave through these things, I just worry about the impact it would have on the rest of his life. You know what I'm talking about? Anyone else? Okay. All right, whatever, man. It's time to get the shit together. But anyway, I think I've overdone it, because really, who are we, If your journal is a real, true, unfiltered stream of consciousness, it's not really who you are. It's what the inner radio is playing. And who are you? Are you your inner radio? Of course you're not. If you were your inner radio, you'd be arrested. I know what you're thinking. You're a pervert. You're a murderous pervert. I know what you're thinking in a checkout line when you're hungry and impatient. You're a murderous person, and you're probably also a pervert. My favorite thing, well, it's not my favorite thing, but I have this weirdly reoccurring idea where anytime I'm in like a corporate setting or like a sacred setting like a church, I always wonder like if people had a little sign above their head like floating like an augmented virtual reality, and it was just like their favorite sexual position, like this idea that we're all pretending to be pulled together is endlessly funny to me. It's just endlessly funny that people think that they're presenting in a professional way, I mean, like, maybe it's because I'm a Clinton, like I was in high school during Clinton, but like the man giving like somber State of the Union speeches while the augmented reality above his head is like cigar in pussy. That's his favorite sexual act. And I love Bill. I mean, Bill's great. Kevin Spacey, just like giving a graduation speech pre-scandal and just flashing, just like, I'm not going to even say what Spacey's flashing. Like the 62-year-old in accounting, just favorite sexual positions, just floating above everybody's head as they walk through these office corridors. Eugenia, that's an old-fashioned name. Like Nancy's like the kind of a cute and a rotund grandmotherly presence. She's been in accounting since the 70s. And it's just like as she's at the water cooler, you just turn the corner and above her head floating in kind of a digital augmented reality, it just says reverse cowgirl, because that's her favorite position. You would never know that. And that's not even perverted, but it's just like, let's be honest. For an 85% of the population, sex is definitely the best thing. There's a bunch of asexual people out there, but for people who like it and want it and really enjoy it, I mean, there was this great article entitled, it was the good old New York Post, and it said, which sex positions burn the most calories, from doggy style to the butter churner? And I was like, the butter churner? And I didn't realize what it was, but the butter churner, I mean, and I wonder how many people would have butter churner floating above their head. I know what I'd have floating above my head. Mish only. 100% mish. I don't like to mix it up. The butter churner is a hell of a workout. It's essentially, for those that don't know, the butter churner, the receiver, so the lady in a heterosexual couple, the lady's on her back, and really only her shoulders are on the floor, and the rest of her is fully propped up by the man who is standing and squatting down to penetrate with his partner, almost vertical. If you're 6'4" and you're butter churning, your face is about 5 feet away from your partner's, and you are getting a terrific calorie burn. I mean, probably 100 calories every 10 minutes, sweating, dripping sweat down. I'd be shocked if anyone's butter churned for more than a minute, honestly. If you do it more than a minute, then you're like an MMA fighter. Oh, fuck. My cat just entered with a mouse in its... Hey, Giuseppe? No. Oh, no. Ah! Fuck. What was I saying? The big question I have right now is everybody miserable? And I think the answer is yes. I think you'd have to ask spouses how happy people are. They're the only people that can really give you an honest answer. And can you imagine going up to a cocktail party and being like, hello, Kate, I've been looking at Richard. Richard's such a fun guy. He's great. He's got so much good energy. Is he happy in the home? Cocktail party questions. I got one from a friend's dad. It was like minute 2 of kind of a cocktail party scene. He goes, David, he's a guy I grew up with. I've known him my whole life. He's like, David, how's your marriage? How's your marriage? It was the first time anyone has ever asked me that. He's like 75, not giving any fucks. He's had a couple absolutes. And I just laughed so hard. I was like, it's good. It's good. And he's like, he's just looking for more. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely not going to get into the incredibly 100 by 100 foot tapestry that is a 15-year marriage in this setting. But I really respect the question. And so it got me thinking of like, what are the questions you could ask sort of lightly at a cocktail party? And just pick up any of your spouses, every of your friends' spouses and be like, is Simon happy? Early in the cocktail party. No, really, he seems happy here. He's the life of the party. But is he happy? And just kind of look suspicious and skeptical. See what happens. There's a video that I just stumbled on that's got me thinking a lot. It was by one of these kind of CIA investigators, so someone who's like specializes in extracting information. I think he was a spy. He was on one of those podcasts telling about the techniques, like the spy techniques. And it was really interesting because you basically gather information by never asking questions. And the example he used was basically like, you get in an Uber and you're like, I read an article that Uber drivers are the happiest workers in the, of all the service industries. Uber drivers have the best sort of job satisfaction. And you just make this statement that's clearly not going to be true. But the person will begin to fight the statement because they know it's not true. So anytime someone hears something that's not true, they're going to prove how they know why it's not true. So you just start making statements instead of questions. I tried it on my son and I go, I hear you were a lot better in the second basketball tryout. They had 2 basketball tryouts, like back-to-back Sundays. And I heard you were a lot better in the second basketball tryout, just to see if he would just like open up about what really happened. And God bless the boy. He goes, who told you that? And I go, oh fuck, because I really don't lie. So I go, I think I may have dreamed it, which I think is a lie. So I fucked that up. Because I knew I didn't dream it. I was doing a technique from a podcast. And I should have just said, no, I'm just doing a technique from a podcast. How was basketball? How was it? Instead, I said, I think I dreamed it, which is a lie because I knew I didn't dream it. So there we go. Well, I got to reset the clock. Time to last lie. Damn it. Anyway, he called me on it, which I respected. He just goes, he goes, who told you that? And I go, I dreamed it. He goes, you're lying. And I was like, fuck, man, you're good. You're going to be in CIA. I go to the gym. I go to this gym called Foley's Fitness. It's in Scarborough, Maine. Beautiful gym. Super high ceilings, 50 feet. They got about 9 squat racks. You can do everything there. They've got a AstroTurf area. You can do like push sleds. It looks like a training facility for like a D1 football program. Just huge, everything you could possibly want. And anyone who's really serious about building a physique or getting strong is there in southern Maine. And what that really means is that it's a ton of dudes and women just trying to get their bodies into the kind of shape where they can fuck. I mean, the amount of ass work that's going on in the modern day gym, I would say that almost every dude and woman, there's women that every time I see them, the only thing they're doing is building an ass. Just the hip thrust, the single leg cable, just tiny little movements, the hips. And they're wearing these things, of course. We've probably been over this, but there is now a spandex. It's been around, I think, a number of years. I don't think I've talked about it yet, but it's extraordinary. I mean, what's happening is essentially they're trying to make a pant look like an anus. So they're taking the folds of a legging and they're bunching it in the crack. So already you have a legging that will basically move. If you are a female with a large butt, and I say large in a positive, like a powerful ass, there you're gonna have some distance between the outer edge of your cheek and your anus. Let's call it a hand length, maybe 7 inches. And what they've done is where the fabric goes towards the anus, instead of hiding the anus, what they're doing is making the whole ass crack look like an anus. They're like wrinkles, like it kind of looks like a long raisin. And it's obviously intentional. And it's amazing to me how many people are just like, fuck it. Yeah, like I'm going to get the leggings that throw out anus vibes. Okay, well, that's it for the episode. Look, I understand. I'm self-aware. I know there's some things in there that were pretty bad, pretty in poor taste, not funny. But that's the whole point. That's the whole point of starting stand-up. You got to throw out 95, 99% of stuff. But occasionally, you get something good. So, if something tickled you, please let me know. Because ultimately, that's what will stay into the stand-up set. And that's what I'll use. So, if anything got you, really got you, no blowing sunshine up my ass. That's the game here. That's the game. That's what we're doing. So, we're doing it together, and I thank you. I really do. It's super fun. If you enjoyed this episode, if you want to get someone else involved with this, send it to them. Or I'm not going to beg or anything like that. I'm not desperate. But it does seem like if you ask people to do these things at the end, you remind them that it's meaningful to you. And it is meaningful. It's the way you grow. It's just the way it is. It's hard to get attention out there. And the fact that I've kept yours for over 20 minutes, if you're still here, is honestly a fucking miracle. And so I love you. I really do. I genuinely love you. All right. Have a great week. Bye.